What's up, guys? And we are back with another video, and probably we'll be cracking some more non-veg jokes and Adam jokes, and maybe even Daniel Sex God will show up today as well. And we will be talking about pregnant ex-girlfriends and stupid ex-boyfriends. Hopefully not. But yes, we are back with another FPL show, and I have an esteemed panel here. Yes, last night we got the compliment of the best FPL experts. So hopefully, let's see what kind of compliments we keep getting tonight. And today I will do a diagonal run and first introduce Simpy. And Simpy, where can people find you, and what are you planning for the upcoming weeks?
So thanks for having me on again. I'm looking forward to today's show. People can find me just here, Simpy141, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. And I've got an FPL show kicking off on first, the draft teams and what we're going to select. And then every week then we'll be doing FPL shows. And then I've also got FIFA 21 content coming out at the end of this month. So yeah, cheers, Nizesh.
And since Simpy's new BFF and best friend Aqua Laqua is in the chat, big up to Miss Molina, big up to Aqua Laqua, big up to Fred and everyone who's watching. Simpy, can you please introduce the other guests as well for today?
Yeah, sure. So just over this side of me, I've got the one and only Sankalp. How are you, Sankalp?
I'm great. So good to be back with you guys, and looking forward to the new FPL season for sure.
Yeah, Sankalp. And where can people find you, Sankalp?
So I have my Twitter page, Understanding Football. It's meant to be a football page, but I know, I mean, with FPL coming in, I just can't help but add a lot of FPL content to it as well. So please find me on my Twitter page, Understanding Football. Thank you.
Cheers for joining, Sankalp. And then up above, we've got John. How are you, John?
I'm all right. I'm all right, Simpy. You can find me on Revenite Space FC on YouTube and at Revenite on Twitter. I'm going to be doing gaming content and get the streams and all that going on there again, and football content as soon as the season starts. But yeah, I'm looking forward to these shows, and Midfielders is definitely the trickiest one so far, I believe. So
yeah, especially with all the the position changes that have been made now. Obviously, there's a couple to mention. We'll probably mention some today, because obviously yesterday we did the Defenders show, which was good. So if you haven't checked that, then please go watch that back. And then the day before that, I think was it Sunday night, we did goalkeepers as well. So
yep.
Yeah.
And when I was like handing it over to you guys, I thought you would also guys go into long speeches like me. I go to them in the end, but you guys kept it very short, and so I'm back. I was just trying to fix a few things, but I think I'll need a couple of more minutes in between. Somewhere I will squeeze those in. But yes, we did have that conversation. Thank you, and big up to all three of you for joining again. And this is one of the most trickiest ones. I think this is going to be the most trickiest ones in fact, in FPL. Because the midfielders are the maximum number of players that you need to squeeze in. And with the way that FPL is officially changing things around, they are trying to mix and match and confuse the players even more. And before we go ahead, big up to Andrew as well in the chat. And Aqua Laqua is there. George is there. Big up to George as well. And Fred is struggling with autocorrect. Big up to Fred as well. And Miss Molina. And yes, so let's quickly start off with one question which I asked for the goalkeepers, and let me start with John. John, with respect to just FPL, this is just FPL, who was your favorite midfielder from the limited time that you played last season?
My favorite midfielder, that's a tough one. Probably just Ed Bruno Fernandes, probably. Yeah. It's very close between him and De Bruyne, but yeah, I think De Bruyne, because of Pep's roadness, dropped out at the end.
A Liverpool fan saying Bruno Fernandes as my favorite midfielder at any point of time definitely means that he's been doing something right at Manchester United. And coming on to Simpy, who was your favorite midfielder with respect to FPL?
The one who stayed in my team from game week 1 all the way until the very end, Kevin De Bruyne, hands down.
I think a lot of people will agree with you, the player of the year as well. And Sankalp, so who was yours?
You. Yeah, Sankalp, good choice, that Sankalp, yeah.
I'll change my answer now. So I will go with Salah because I triple captained him also for his double game week, and he gave me a lot of points. I think around 50 points. So I'll go with Salah. He helped me a lot last season.
I think that is the only time someone will mention Salah as their favorite this season. I hope John, you're watching this, and big up to Taib in the chat as well, and big up Miss Melina and Taib. And as I had conveyed through John, I think Miss Melina got the message. I'm not sure about Taib. If you guys want to join in the league, paid league as well, you can definitely join in for free because you have been contributing for something that we are working on. And John, if you would like to address the people watching once, I think that can also be done right now. Would you like to go ahead and tell them about what I was exactly talking about?
Yeah, so I've been collecting for a PC fund because I'm moving back soon back to Gibraltar, and I wasn't sure if I was able to bring my PC over in some way, but I'm looking to upgrade my PC so I can stream better when I get there. And so far, Natasha's been helping me by contributing the FBL funds from people joining towards that. So we have we've done quite a successful job. In raising the money. We're probably nearly right there at the limit, but any extra money does help towards that. So yeah, but thanks, Natasha, for all that.
I think I think the big up goes to Miss Melina, who's contributed the biggest amount, and mine are small payments coming in for the FPL tournament that is being added there, and Simpy as well has contributed right now. Let's hope everyone contributes and you get that PC so that you can keep making streams and keep playing Fortnite and keep not lagging because you won't lag on the new PC, hopefully. But yes,
Hopefully.
now hopefully. And John, I would request you to also put the link in the comments for anyone who can share it around or contribute as well. So thank you so much for that once again. Yes, now moving on to the midfielder side of things. So let's start off from this end because Sankalp said he had a lot of names. So Sankalp, we will do it in two parts because everyone will want to know because this is an FPL show now. So everyone will have two choices. One, the high scoring, the you can say the best performing kind of midfielders that you feel that every team should have. And we will go in that order first, you, Simpy, and John. And post that, what we will do is we will try to do the most cost efficient ones, and we will do the top five for that as well. It can be in any order. You don't need to specify an order, but you can just mention the names. So, top five FPL midfielders, according to you, who are the best in terms of giving you the most points in the season and should be in every player's team.
Uh, I think obviously there's some flexibility that you need to bring in with respect to fixtures. But the top two for me, who will perhaps stay in my team for most part of the season, will be Aubameyang and Sterling. This time, I feel that when you play the Pep roulette, you have to pick and choose which player to go for. Instead of KDB, I would rather put my money on Sterling because he ended the season last, and even in the he's been selected for the internationals. He's been playing pretty well in the recent past, so I would put my money in Sterling. Apart from that, I think from a starting point of view, Sun is a very good person to go with. We are not very sure of Kane's how he will play, but the fixtures that Spurs have is very attractive for us. I would say I would like to start with him for the at least first 7 or 8 matches, right? United is someone who have a lot of good matches, easier matches. Obviously, they do not play game week one, and that's why I have not started with any of the players. But for me, those two players, finish the entire top five. Bruno Fernandes and Greenwood for me. Greenwood is at 7.5. He plays at the right wing position. He is very close to the goals for United, and he scores a lot, right? But I am not looking at him as a really long term option. I think he's more of a form player. He's still a young player, so he will struggle at some point of time. So it's just buy and sell. And Bruno for me, I mean, because of the fact that he has an added penalty advantage, he's a player that I would really look to utilize throughout the season. But again, this is his second season, so it will be a bit tougher compared to the blitzkrieg that he started last half season.
Okay, That's great. And you left Kevin De Bruyne out, I think, because you were thinking that everyone else would pick him definitely. I think maybe that is what I can figure out from what you just said. And big up to Khan in the chat as well. So, what I would request you, Sankalp, is if you can put the 5 names in the chat as well and in the comment section as well for everyone who's watching, so that they also have remember the names and we also have it in the library. And yes, coming next to Simpy. Simpy, who would be your 5 essential midfielders that every team should have at some point of time in the season?
I'm going to go with Nisesha's most hated player. I'm going with Salah. So I've seen a lot of people swap between Mane or Salah this season. I've seen a lot of people edge over Mane than Salah because obviously Salah's not had a great pre-season, but everyone knows pre-season doesn't mean that much. He could come up against Leeds and get a hat-trick on the first day, then everyone's like, yeah, everyone's upset. But I've gone with Salah. Another one that Sankat mentioned. Actually, I've got both of these in my team. One is Son. So Son, just due to fixtures that Spurs have got, and pretty much every season he's always like another player that gathers a lot of points in people's teams, and not many people do have him. Suppose if people have Tottenham players, they've only got Kane or Son, but I've gone for Son just because every season he gets points. Just got to watch out though in case he does get a red card, because he picked up quite a lot last season. Another player I've got as well is Aubameyang. We know Aubameyang, 2 seasons now, he's scoring goals for fun. Not getting many assists, but goals. He's getting a lot of goals. And I think this season now, got better players around him. Hopefully we'll bring in some more midfielders to secure him at the back and then hopefully crack on a lot more goals. So Aubameyang. Couple of players I've gone for as well. One player I do like, I think it's minutes to points ratio, is Mahrez. But like we've said before, the whole Pep roulette, you don't know who's playing, who's not playing. But when Mahrez has played, the points he gets back is insane. But I think now with, this is Fernan Torres is his name. I think he plays a similar role to Mahrez as well. So I've heard a lot of people say if Torres plays well, then Mahrez will probably never get a game again. Other players to mention, I think even Grealish might be worth a shout, actually, because I've seen the link today with like Ollie Watkins, who was at Brentford, who was scoring for fun. And Villa have signed a couple of players as well. And I think Grealish is always on the end of goals and assists. So potentially Grealish could be an option as well if you're looking to fit them in your team. That's probably the only way you can get in those midfielders, but that's what I'd go for.
So just do mention your 5, and yes, you have gone for Salah. I don't agree with the Salah one, but I am not going to complain right now. We'll have that discussion definitely. But yeah, so just mention them in the chat and the comments as well for everyone in, and big up to you guys as well. Thank you for supporting. And Khan is saying stop hating on Salah. I'm not hating on Salah. I would not pick him on my team, in my team. And from there, we move on to John's 5. John, who are your special 5?
So yeah, a lot of similar names again, but for me, I'm going to start off with Aubameyang is in my midfield and it's my most expensive midfielder. So I definitely think he's going to be in he's been at the top of the scoring chart for the last 2 seasons. So he's definitely going to have to be in there now that he's in the midfield. I've gone against the grain and I've gone for Mane instead of Salah in my list because I don't know. I think even though, like Simpy said, preseason is not much of a guide in terms of form, but I just have a feeling he's going to step off the gas a bit again. So it will be a slightly less prolific season than last season, which was an okay season for him. And I think Mane might just edge ahead of him, so he's probably going to get a bit more points. After that, I've gone with Bruno Fernandes because I mean I think he's still gonna be Fernandes. Nothing's gonna change, so there's still gonna be plenty of points for that. And then there's he will pick corners, pick up the assists again for that. If Slabhead gets his head the right way, you'll probably get some assists for that. Like Simpy said as well, I've got Son as well. He's in my team, and I think that like you said, with Tottenham starts of the season, and I just think that he's a bit of a steady Eddie. He will get you a lot of points through the season, and he doesn't really drop too far that you're gonna regret having him. And then yeah, Kevin De Bruyne obviously for the last one. because he's just if he plays, he's getting you points. He's too easy of a safe captain pick.
Yep, I think everyone here will agree that some of these players are must have, but the problem is the only one big problem is the budget. They
Yeah,
have messed it up big time. I had tweeted this out like several weeks ago. A lot of people have said it as well, not just me. They have messed up the budget. How do you not? They need to understand basic economics or basic logic. When there is inflation, the budget should go up. You can't keep the same budget and keep inflating the prices of players. If you do that, then people will struggle. Any economy struggles on this basis. And if they had like a slight hint of what economics means, they would understand that when you're inflating something, especially the other thing that they do, I think Sankalp also pointed it out. When you buy a player and when you sell him again, they give you half the money back. They give you half the money back. They don't even give you the full money. So suppose if for 1 week, 1 game week, I am short of cash. At least I can sell my player if his value increases within a week or two, and then have some more money opportunity at buying a costlier player. But no, FPL doesn't want that as well. So, anyways, now coming on to the main section, I would say, of this show, because these big names, I think more or less everyone will know. And this is the one where we will analyze a bit more and go into the second part. We'll do it in two parts. One, we analyze the names that you have given, and then we go into the second part, which is going into the names of players or midfielders in this case, who are going to be utility players, because whether people like it or not this time, they will have to have them in their team. There is no option. They got no money. No one has enough money to buy all of these players. So let me quickly go into the ones that you had mentioned. Let me just quickly see the list. If you could just put it in the private chat. Wait, where is Simpy? Simpy. I'm just looking for Simpy's list. Okay, yeah. Simpy has Salah, Aubameyang, Son, Mahrez, and Grealish. Simpy, question to you: do you think Mahrez is going to start like any game at all?
Probably not. No, but he's just one of them. There's other options to pick, I think, but it's just his points to minutes ratio is really good.
Yes, I have seen that, but I know you must also remember that people hating on Pep because they can't understand what logic he's using to drop Mahrez when the guy plays a game, scores a goal or gets an assist almost every single game that he plays. There is no logic understandable. I mean, John sometimes is right, really right at hitting that ball fraudy. But yes, apart from that, I think Grealish will only be the one who people may be a bit dicey, because last season, if you remember, that towards the end when they were literally struggling, he went invisible.
Yeah.
I think the other three are definitely pickable in every team. Coming on to let's go towards the next one. I can't see Sankalp's. Wait, yeah, sorry, Sankalp's I missed. Aubameyang is the same. Son is the same. The three he has changed is Sterling, Bruno, and Greenwood. Yep. So Sterling, again, the problem was that he scored against the smaller teams more towards the end. And Son, Bruno, obviously no complaints. But yes, Sankalp, do you think Greenwood will be starting games?
Sterling will be starting games for sure.
Am I the one lacking, or is Sankalp lacking?
Sankalp.
Sankalp, yeah. Greenwood,
Sorry,
do you think he'll be starting games with Van? Oh, he's gone. That was fast.
That's what she said.
He he disappeared faster than Greenwood would from the team, and it's gone to this silly arrangement which we don't like at all. Yep. So let me ask this to Simpy and John. Simpy, do you think Greenwood will be starting games, or it will be Van de Beek?
Isn't it? Where does Van de Beek? Doesn't Van de Beek play in the center?
Yeah, I mean to say Van de Beek playing in center and maybe Bruno shifted to the wings or something like that.
Oh no, I think at the moment I think Greenwood will start. Definitely over Dan James. There's got no competition there at all.
Okay, and Sankalp, what do you think? Do you think that he will start as well, or do you think Greenwood will not be starting, but he'll be a bench player and rotated in, like as a substitute, super sub?
See, I am thinking of Greenwood as a more of a short-term option this year. I do not want to the entire year, but I feel he will have a on form 5 to 10 games kind of period, and that's where you pick him up. I feel that at some point of time he will drop his form because this is going to be his entire first time he'll play the entire season, right? The expectations are unless United goes and gets Sancho, right? So he will drop his form as well. So he's not your entire season player, but he's a player who will pick up a lot of points because of the fact that he's still a midfielder and he plays very close to the forwards. So
And
a player who will
and
start for 20
yeah.
games.
And another thing I wanted to add, unless Solskjaer has his mood swings again, because last season was supposed to be his first full season, but then Solskjaer was like, "Yes, I really like Greenwood. He's a very good player. He's one of our best strikers. But where is he? On the bench." So if that happens again, I think it will be again a similar thing, and he will not even have his complete season again. And reminded me of Harvey. I'm wondering where Harvey is. Maybe he's working. Anyways, so John has taken a walk till the time. Let us discuss a few things in the comments, and then we'll discuss his team. And Rishabh is asking views on Sochek. Anyone who would like to go for him?
I've got him in my team.
Okay. Sankalp, you wanted to add something?
I had him on my team, but now that I know he's, self quarantine, he's on a self quarantine for, I think, a couple of weeks. He might or might not start the first game week, and everything after the first game week is very dreadful for West Ham. So I'm thinking of keeping him on my watch list. He's a player who scores a lot from set pieces. He has that knack to get one in or give you assist from set pieces. But as of now, I'm preferring Ceballos on top of Suchek. At some point of time, I might change it and go for Suchek.
Okay, and one more thing I just wanted to add there, just for you, Rishabh, that don't take any West Ham players in game week 1. I know how Moyes works. Like Moyes will be the manager that I got three predictions. Only manager whose three predictions that I got right. Oh, I think John is telling that you guys can't see the comments. Wait, just a second. What's
No, we
going?
can't. Yeah, because it's from the quiz, I think. Set from the quiz still.
So you guys didn't let me know in the last two shows.
No, we thought it was like a surprise when you put it up on the screen.
Epic.
I always have it on anyway, Nitesh. So
You guys, yeah, you guys could have told me, just told me. Anyways, yeah. So going back, yeah, I was saying that don't take any West Ham players in game week 1. It's gonna be Moyes needs time to adapt. Moyes is like similar to me in terms of understanding the game. We take a bit of time to get used to it, and then we make our changes after that. So he's gonna be slow at the start of the season, and after maybe a couple of game weeks or 3 game weeks, he'll finally start understanding that the season has actually started. So at that point of time, go for West Ham players a bit more.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah, good. Go ahead, Sankalp.
the reason I am talking about Ceballos, from a FPL point of view is while last year he did not give a lot of points, his underlying metrics are very strong. So if you look at his, XG, XA, or the kind of XG chain, all these numbers were very strong. So something that can give a better output, and the fact that he's still at only 5 points is a good punt to have.
I think you should save that for our second list, where definitely Ceballos can fit in unless you have five already decided there. But the problem with Ceballos has always been, which I've seen right through the last season, even though I defended him because of the fact that he has other qualities, his overall consistency in the 90 minutes does not last. When he's playing passes, crosses, corners, in all those things, just watch this. Now that I've told you, just watch this. He will put in one superb cross, one superb ball, and then watch his next three corners or free kicks or through balls. Just watch them, and you will remember me when you watch him, because you will see what a superb ball, what a superb corner, what a superb free kick, and then you'll be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" Like three championship level passes or three championship level set pieces or corners, and then you will be like, "Okay, this guy can't be consistent in the entire 90 minutes." I am hoping that he proves me wrong, but I have not seen any proof of that so far. And John Khan. Okay, Khan is saying, Malina, I'm gonna honestly, you don't know how much football. Okay, what was this comment about? Do you hate him? Okay. Khan. No, I don't hate him because there are so many Arsenal players as well who belong to the same religion. So it does not matter with respect to that. I like Sadio Mane. I like Sadio Mane. I don't like Ozil. So it does not depend on that. Okay, coming on to John's team now. And John is saying he's going with Aubameyang. And as I said, Mane. I prefer Mane over Salah. He's going with Bruno, Son, and Kevin De Bruyne. So the obvious choice is, but the only question that I have for him is, John, how much value or how much faith will you put in Son? Do you think he's going to get you those goals, or do you think he's not?
He's definitely a player where you definitely have to watch him. I think he's gonna have a time where you may take him out for a while, but I think like majority of the time, maybe 60% of the time, he's all right to have in your team. But I think he may have down periods where you may want to swap him out for a cheaper option and maybe to adjust the rest of your team, perhaps. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do think the only problem is I look at those big names. I want all five of them in my team. If not five, at least three of them. But I don't think we can even afford three of them now. Such is the
Yeah.
situation.
I can't
Because
I can't afford two of them with this. Yeah.
We can go for three. I mean, it depends. You have to,
take cheap
neglect.
strikers then. Cheap strikers then. If you take
So
two.
I've gone with cheaper defense, or you can go with cheaper strikers. That you have to, take a hit somewhere.
I
Yeah.
have I have gone for the cheaper options as well at the back, but yeah, I've kept some quality there. But then let's see when we'll discuss those on the 10th when we have Simpy's show going on, and at that point of time we'll share our entire teams and then we'll have that entire team discussion. Now coming on to phase two of this part, Sankalp, your five midfield utility players who are not the most expensive but are cost efficient. Who are your five there?
So I'm going with players with a price value of below 8. While obviously I put Greenwood in the other category, but I'll not pick him again. I'll start with Foden, basically because David Silva has moved out. I feel Foden will play more in his, role that he's required to play in, more of a center midfield role, but he'll still give you a lot of, assists or goals. At the 6.5, I think he's a player that you can go for. Second is obviously our Arsenal player Saka, right? While I'm still not sure with once all the players are, once the transfer window is closed and maybe if we get some additional players, I do not know where exactly Saka will play or how regularly he'll start. But still a player who will definitely give you assists. The kind of quality of crosses he has, he's at 5.5, definitely someone you can, go for. Then I will go with Suchek. Right, we were talking about Suchek. I The reason I'm not starting with Suchek is the fixtures that West Ham has is crazy, right? It's
Yeah.
very difficult and it's very hopeful if you're taking Suchek and putting him in on the fast track side. But at some point of time, I'm sure that lad will do well. Will give you some points. Next up for me is the new Newcastle guy, Fraser, right? Especially considering the fact now that there's a Wilson Fraser combination. I know last year they did not do well, but the year before they had a 12 goal and assist combination, right?
Yeah.
So at 6, I think he's pretty good case, to be built. He's someone that you can look for, and while Newcastle again has a bit dicey fixtures, he's definitely on my watch list. And the guy I would end with is again a new player, but I mean everyone knows about his quality. James Rodriguez, right? James Bond. So at 7.5, I think I have he's on top of my watch list. Everton do have good, fixtures, but still I'm not jumping at him. But I definitely have him on watch list. If he starts playing well, I'll try and push him through. I mean, he's a better option than Greenwood for me if he really picks up.
That is a very big if. That is the only problem there. But yes, I would request you to again put your names in the chat as private chat and the comment section as well for everyone so that they can see the names that you have picked. And yeah, I definitely agree with respect to Saka, but the problem I have there with only will be about Foden because I'm not too sure what Pep will do with him. I think Pep has this problem with Foden, with Mahrez, and I don't know. He has his problems with some particular players that he doesn't like to play. Pep has a problem with some players, not me. But yes, so just moving on from that, and we will have this discussion on the players as well. And yes, going on to Simpy's five. Sippy, who are your famous five?
This one's quite a tricky one. So one I've gone for 4 of them are different to Sankalp. One of them's the same. So first one's Saka. Obviously, what is 5.5? I think he is 5.5 million, which is a good shout. But we don't know if he's going to play yet and where he's going to play. Got to decide yet about Willian and any other new signings coming in, etc. So gone with Saka. Another one I've gone for. The annoying thing is he's priced up a lot since last season and the season before. Is Harvey Barnes from Leicester. He was a good. He hit like some form, but then he dropped off, and then he came back. But at 7 million now, it's a bit of a tricky one. But I think, like Sankalp said, under 7 million's an okay-ish price range. Next one I've gone for is a bit of a different one. Is Dwight McNeil. So Burnley midfielder, young English, supposed to be like a good rising star. Don't think he'll be at Burnley for much longer, to be honest. But he's a good option. Gets forward quite a lot and has provided quite a lot of points last season. Yeah. Another one I've got is a completely different one. It's one I've got in my team because at the moment Liverpool haven't made that many signing. Well, only made one signing, sorry. And their window's running out. Well, still got a month left. No. I've gone for Curtis Jones. So he's actually in my FPL team now. He's my cheap player that probably won't play that many games, but when he does play, we saw at the end of the season he came on. He scored a couple of goals, didn't he? I think it was that Villa game. I think they were struggling to get a goal, and he came on and scored. Yeah, I've gone for him as my cheap option. I think he'll do okay. And I think if Liverpool don't make Thiago or don't make any other midfield, I think he's going to be played a lot more. So that could be an option. And the fifth one I'm struggling for, actually. I'm really struggling for it. There was players like Hodgberg that signed for Spurs from Southampton. But it's really tricky situation, this one.
I thought you will go with Pereira from West Bromwich Albion.
I thought you were going to say the one from Man United then. I was like, no way.
I thought the one from Leicester.
Oh, the right back.
No, the one from what's his name? Perez, not Pereira. Perez.
Oh, Iosi, yeah. He's at 6.5. There's Traore as well, but I don't think he's going to link up as well. But actually, that's not a bad idea, actually, what you said, Sankalp, because obviously in the Championship he got tons of assists, didn't he? But can he do this in the Premier League? That's something else. But yeah, I'll probably go with. I'll steal one from Sankalp then. Let's steal one from Sankalp. I'll go with Pereira.
He has so many names in the back that he's now giving away names, just like Chelsea. Okay, and coming on to John's 5.
All right, so I'm going to start with the most expensive of the cheap options, but Sankamp's already mentioned him, Mason Greenwood. I think he's he's obviously gone up a lot, but I still think he's a good pick. I still think he'll get some games because the delusion of Man United fans thinking they're going to get Sancho, they can keep believing it, and then Greenwood's going to start for them, and then they're going to start crying. But it's okay. He'll probably still bag some goals and get some FPL points. So I don't think they'll be too unhappy with that. Next on my list, I have a name mentioned already as well, Souček. Besides the first week, like you said, because of what's going on, but I did at the end of last season, he was getting a lot of goals, like you said, from set pieces and that. So I think that's going to continue throughout the season, probably get you a steady number from that. And and then after that, a steady name from last season, I've got Lundstrom in there because he's still quite cheap, and I still think he'll have a solid seasons, and for what you get for him, you get what you get for him really. After him, I've got a name nobody's really mentioned, but he always seems to put in a few free kicks, and they probably get you a few assists. I've gone for Ward-Prowse in my 5. He's still pretty cheap, and I still think Southampton will have a decent season again, so he'll probably get you quite a few assists and points from that. And one which not people mentioned either, but I think simply mentioned him. I've actually got Adama in mind, so I think he's still going to have a decent season, and he's not that pricey to regret the purchase, I'd say.
Yeah, but the only thing that the problem will be probably Henderson will be crying in a corner. Nobody picked me. Nobody picked me for PFA as well. They didn't give me PFA player there as well. And other names that come to mind, as I said, one is Henderson. I thought someone would pick Naby Keita as well because he was injured. He could also perform. Two Liverpool guys. Minamino, I think he's costly, so I think he may not go into the this
Yeah.
category, and he may not start as well because of the trio obsession. And but yeah, Naby Keita and Henderson were two names that I thought of. Going on, I don't think anyone picked apart from Son any other Spurs player as well, right? So Lis also did well at one point of time, but I think he's a bit expensive, or did his price go down a bit?
That's a good question. Let's see.
Yeah, it should have stayed well middle in the FA
Yep.
Cup.
I think Lis is another option that maybe people will want.
He's
7
7
million.
7,
Yeah.
yeah.
He got some good assists. Simply said at that in that show, Lis never gets assist and assist.
Yeah.
That-
It just happened like in a row.
Yeah. So he's also there. And I think other players that I can think of is no, I don't think Daniel James. I think he should. I think most cost efficient one will be Saka, obviously. Definitely I will go with him because he's midfielder and he's playing everywhere around. So that would be definitely a choice. I think I don't you think like Martinelli will also be played in midfield this season? I think because he's a winger as well.
I think he's actually put as a striker on FPL.
I
Oh wait,
have
no, he's not. He's midfielder. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, midfielder.
So if he can recover from his injury, I think Martinelli could be a good casual pick as well. Last season he wasn't given the chances by Emery, but he could be coming in there as well. And I was thinking between maybe Kovacic and some of the other guys, maybe Mason Mount, but Mason Mount will be too expensive. I think Kovacic could be a decent pick if he gets into his groove as well, because he's the one who's playing all around the pitch, and we saw his impact in this season as well. Pulisic, I think he's too costly. Otherwise, he would have fit into this as well. Any other players? Man United, no. Spurs, no. Chelsea, Liverpool, done.
Yeah.
Arsenal, fine. I think those are the big six are done. I think Everton have a few. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
For me, I think just around the borderline between 7.5 plus and the most expensive ones. I think there are three players that we really can watch out for. One is a lot of people are actually going for GH, but they started backing down because of the injury. But GH is a good option. I will not still go vouch for Kai Havertz. I think the lad will take because he's much younger in nature. One person which I definitely feel will do better than last year and is much less expensive is Pepe. Nicholas Pepe. I think he will. He's priced at 8, and he has the talent, and he's now in a setup where he'll give you much more points. And when you mentioned Spurs, I thought you were going to say Bergwijn. Now that lad can score goals that we have seen. He scores against top clubs as well.
But
If I'm sure his start, that is something that that's the point. If we are sure about
Pep Mahrez, Bergwijn, Mourinho. End of story. So that is the problem. But I will give you one more name since you mentioned Pepe, Willian. I would rather go for Willian, but I think he's I think 6 million or so. He's
8 million. They're both 8 million.
Okay,
yeah, Pepe and William both the same price.
Yeah. So then Willian, I think Willian is no point because his penalties are also gone. Last year he had penalties. And I will address this question quickly and big up to Russ Morgan, big up to Cheddars. I'll just take Cheddars' team as well. Ziyech is injured. Havertz may not start. That is the message that came through. But again, for Havertz, he's going to be either on the bench and maybe coming on or starting. So it's a 50-50. But Ziyech is injured. That is the update. He's not going to be playing there. And so coming to Cheddar's mid, his mid is Mount, Son, and Aubameyang. So as I was saying, that you always end up, you can either have two of the big three, like big five. So he's gone for Mount and Aubameyang. And third one is, Son and Aubameyang. And the third one is Mount, who's I think 7. Mount is 7, right?
Let me check. Are you playing, you're playing 4 at the back then, Cheddars?
7.
And Cheddars is adding that Ryan Fraser is a good bargain. Saint Maximin and Armstrong from Southampton are good bargains. See, the thing is, Saint Maximin, we keep saying this last season, Last season we had choices. This time it's a last resort. No money. This is what they have messed up.
Yeah,
People have.
the money's ridiculous.
I kept saying it. I'm still. I think I feel like ranting. Like this FPL app is shit now. I need to start. Their app is shit, but in comparison to their website, but I can probably say that their whole gameplay has now been fucked up. Unless they maybe change it and add a push of 5 million here or there, I don't know. I think it will be big trouble, and they will realize it that the quality of FPL will be going down. People will start playing non website drafts then a bit more than this nonsense, because their pricing has been very awful this season. And Russ Morgan is saying the champ is here. No, John Cena isn't here. You can't see him. And Aubameyang has to be number one pick. I agree. I think anyone here will not disagree with that. That Aubameyang has to be the number one choice with the form that he has been. John, any arguments on Aubameyang has to be number one pick?
No. Yeah, he was on my top 5. He's just you can't not pick him. Yeah.
Yep. And the worst thing is that they also pulled him from a forward line to a midfield. That's the worst thing that they could have done. And yes, Russ Morgan is saying you have to have 2 of Aubameyang, Mane, or Salah, not Salah, Aubameyang, or Mane. And Taib is saying Cheddar's today's footballers are a shamble. I think Taib, you need to have a one-on-one discussion with Brownie. He'll give you good tips on how they're shambles and how they only play for money. They have zero passion and all those things. But yes, now going on to the most important question. I did not ask you this question. While we were doing goalkeepers and defenders. Can anyone guess what it is? I'll give you all 3 one guess. And whoever gets it right, I'll give him some special prize in the backstage. And yes, I'm not sending my nudes. Don't worry. It's going to be something good. So let's see. John, can you guess what that question will be? I've given you a hint as well. I didn't ask it with respect to goalkeepers and defenders.
Yeah, screw it. It's not worth the prize. I don't know.
Okay, Simpy, can you have a guess?
I don't know, which one of the top 5 wouldn't you pick or something?
Okay. And Sankalp?
Trent or Robertson?
Trent or Robertson.
No, I was going to talk about midfielders. Okay. I said it. That is why I didn't ask in the last 2 ones. Okay. So which midfielder will be your most picked captain this season? I didn't ask it in the last 2 because obviously you're not going to go for a goalkeeper captain and a defender captain generally. So which midfielder will be your captain this season? Or which... Before that, let me just go into a few comments. I had a dream about Fortnite and I got...
Oh my God.
And as the prize is not Nitish's... But yes. So, John, who will be your midfield captain? If you have to pick, you can pick one out of your 5. Who will be your captain?
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne.
Russ has made it clear. Oba for captain. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne from John. And Simpy, who would be your captain?
Dude. Probably it's hard because I rotated it between Aubameyang, Salah, and KDB last season.
So who was your most picked captain last season?
Probably Kevin De Bruyne. I'll go Kevin De Bruyne as well then.
Okay, and Sankalp, same question to you. Who was your most picked captain from last season? Or you want to say which captain you will prefer to have this season? That will help as well.
This season, I think I will go mostly with Sterling. It will be a swap between Sterling and Aubameyang, but I have a feeling I'll go more with Sterling because of the number of assists that he also can create.
Okay, and last season?
Last season, it was Salah for me. I think the most number of hits.
Okay, and Cheddars is in the chat and he's saying Fernandes is going to be my captain. Already ready with the swimming costume and for the dives. I think Cheddars is all set. And he's saying last year it was Mane. Mane is a good shout, but the problem is his finishing, his form has dropped. If you saw in the Community Shield, he got so many chances to convert, but he did not. I think that is the whole case with their entire trio right now. I hope that they change, because otherwise they will have a lot of people pissed and a lot of trolls going around. As John will already know that he himself was with me on that watch long, if I remember, the Arsenal versus Liverpool one, and Salah was really frustrating him and getting his BP high in that game. So
I
yeah,
think the
people.
problem with Mane captain is he never. I mean, he does not score a lot of braces, so it's mostly one goal, right? Ideally, I like to go for players who can, give you two goals or a goal and an assist, that extra bit from your captain. So
And
that's why Mane is a big no.
Mane assists also problem. No assists, barely any assists.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I think
Unless
Firmino gets a lot more assists than Mane. Yeah,
yeah,
probably get more out of him.
unless Mane passes it to the opposite defender who puts it in his net, he's not getting too many assists, because that's how generally he tends to get his assists, from the deflection into the goal, where it's an own goal and Mane assist. I've not seen him pass it back once he gets the ball. He just runs at defenders. And Cheddars is saying our front three, no, they won't lose their place and are not motivated. I have been saying this for like since January now. Front three trio obsession, whatever way you want to put it. I can even do a show on the trio obsession, and then people will start saying that I am obsessed with the trio now. Yeah, Sankalp, go ahead. You were saying something?
I was just agreeing with Cheddar. I think they need some, players who can push the front three. And Miniano, I think, is a very, weak option. While he might, get a lot of form and still bring in, but I don't think Klopp will still, trust him for the bigger matches. It will still be the same front three, and that is going to bite them this season.
Yeah, all Oxlade-Chamberlain is able to do right now, because of the same thing, is just dance to his wife's tunes. That's all he's able to do. Because unfortunately, the fact is that no matter how good he plays, he's just going to be a substitute. And that is why maybe Shaqiri left, Lalana left, these guys have left. They don't think that there is anything left for them at Liverpool right now. John, you are the Liverpool
Sakiri
expert
is
here.
still there.
He's not leaving
True.
now? He's changed his
Wow.
mind?
He might leave, but so far he's still there.
I think the only reason that Shaqiri may stay back at Liverpool is because if he has more groin problems and he can't make it out of the club, because he's been missing for seasons altogether. It's not as if he goes out for one game or two games. He goes out for weeks. No one knows where he is. Who Shaqiri didn't even need lockdown. He was anyways in lockdown before the lockdown actually happened. So that is the situation with Shaqiri. Unfortunately, I used to like the guy, but that is the unfortunate case. I mean, even if he's at any club, I don't think he will get playing time. So I think he finally feels that why don't I just be at Liverpool, make more money, and try to help them whenever I can and contribute.
I
And
think I
go
know.
ahead.
I mean, just want to add. I'm very surprised that Simpy did not consider Ozil in his, less owned list. Ozil is very
Which is
cheap.
it?
Simpy.
7 million.
Uh,
7
I mean,
million, yeah.
I mean,
How is he still that expensive? He doesn't play.
exactly. Who in their right minds will put Ozil at 7 million? I would be like, I am giving you an additional offer. You take Ozil for 1 million, and I'll give you an additional
1
discount.
million.
If I was FPL, I would tell Ozil, listen, we know you're not gonna play, so let's do one thing. Let's put your price tag at maybe 1 million. You pay us 1 million, and we will promote you through FPL. Every player will take you as a backup option, because you'll be the cheapest backup option, and you're famous again.
Well, maybe he's only 7 million if you're playing the Fortnite Premier League and not the Fantasy Premier League.
I'll 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 probably put a tweet out today. You damn fuckers, you put Ozil at 7 million, and then you expect us to fill a squad in 100 million. Are you serious? Are you serious? Even Ozil gets 7 million in a tournament that Ozil is getting 7 damn million. You expect us to fill a team with 100 million? Seriously, I mean, what are these guys thinking? Who's gonna pay 7 million for Ozil? I have no idea. It's like
Fanboys.
Yep, it's like you're putting Lovren for 10 million. It's something like that. Who's gonna pay 10 million for Lovren, or who's gonna be paying, like, you can say 10 million for Mustafi? they actually think even though Mustafi has improved, if you put his price value at 10 million, who's going to pay the money? No one is going to pay the money, and you don't even increase the money. They should have some kind of offer. Take Ozil and get maybe an additional
I will
substitute. Yeah.
I will pay more for Mustafi than I will pay for Ozil.
I had this theory like I had this theory like 3 years ago, and this may trigger Khan a bit, but it was like I don't want any Turkish German players or any Turkish German anything to do any with any kind of Turkish and German players at Arsenal, because we got German Mustafi, we got, I think even he has some roots in Turkey, if I remember. I don't remember exactly, but he has some roots in Turkey. Then I had this guy Ozil. Then I think they were linked to another player who was similar with Turkish German roots. And my reaction was, I have had enough of this combination. I don't want this combination anywhere near the club anymore. So, so going into that, I think I'm not going to pick any player. And I said this jokingly. I think this will be the only game week where I may have 3 Arsenal players for the entire season. It could be such a season. It could be such a situation where I may.
I have a question, Atesh, about a Tottenham midfielder, because we did mention that even though we have Son there, there's not a lot of Tottenham midfielders, and they have an easy start to the season. I wanna know why is I know I don't know if Mourinho will play him, but Dele Alli's at 8 million, and I feel like that's still a lot for him. Like
I think
going down a bit more than that.
I think you missed the train of the joke. This should have come when I was I was joking about Ozil. This should have been part of that joke.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you go and see Lingard's price, you will be shocked. Who the hell is going to pay around 7 million odd for Lingard?
How much is? I'm having a look now.
He's 6 million now, Nitesh.
Oh, okay. Maybe they reduced the price then, luckily. But they didn't get that, maybe that notion when they didn't do it for Dele Alli. So Dele Alli is 7 million apparently.
Yeah, why would you ever pick Lingard? Because I'm pretty sure there's like, isn't there? I'm not sure if Basuma still starts for Brighton, but he's 4.5 million. Like, you'd pick him over Lingard any day.
I think the only place where everyone wants to pick Lingard is in those bets that they're making.
Oh yeah, I can't believe that last day.
Yep, that was a horror story. But guys, honestly, do you ever see Dele Alli coming into your team this season? Let's start with John, who asked the question. John.
Yeah, I think it's a very specific circumstance. Like, if we see him picking up we see him going on a run of form like last season, you may put him in for like a game week or something. But I don't see him like staying very long. I think he might be like a quick in and out, but that's it. That's what she said.
Reminded me of Brownie again, without the. But anyways, moving on to Stimpy. Do you think that you will any point of time be forced to get in Dele Alli into your team?
No, I think because I've got Son, I won't get Dele Alli in my team. I had him in last season for 3 game weeks, and he got me some points back. But yeah, he's Mourinho's golden boy as well, so he probably will feature, but not at that price. I wouldn't get him.
Okay, and Sankalp, 8 million Dele Alli. What a joke!
Yeah. I'm looking for it. If there's a triple game week for Spurs, definitely.
A triple game week. Is he 7 or 8? I said 8. I think he's 7.
He's 8.
He's 8. He's 8.
He's 8. They're deluded, more deluded than I thought. He's 8. He's 8. He's even more costlier than Ozil, even though they contribute almost the same. But anyways, going into Russ Morgan's comment, he's saying Willian is 8 million, and he was one of the top midfielders last season. Yep. So imagine Willian 8 million, Dele Alli 8 million. Does it make sense? Absolutely not.
No. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Willian 8 million, Ozil 7 million. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say though that the Willian signing could be a lot more tricky than you think, because Arteta is a little bit like the others, where you just don't know who he's going to pick. So, like, he could just pick Pepe out of nowhere and then leave Willian on the bench, and then you're like, okay, well, there goes my Willian pick.
Yep, and Willian, but take this from me. You can say maybe like, I think in the first game, definitely Willian will bench Pepe. That is what I feel in game week 1. And after that, if Pepe doesn't perform for 2 or 3 weeks, he's gonna be on the bench. Not because of just his overall play, but because a lot of managers, including, I mean, not a lot of managers, but like 2 or 3 managers already, if not all the 3, have already said that they don't like his training attitude. So if he does that again this season, I think Pepe will be on the transfer list by the end of next season.
Oh wow.
Arteta doesn't take that kind of nonsense. If you guys have seen already, I know Sankalp is ready to say no, I disagree, but but yeah, Sankalp, would you like to add something there?
I am looking at a good season for Pepe. I feel it will be somewhere around 10 assists. Why I'm saying is that that left foot. I know he only has one foot, but he has that particular cross which connects perfectly with Aubameyang, and we saw it over the last few games in the season as well, especially in the finals, in the semi-finals. Right, they connect very well. So I feel this is a combination which will continue to work, and he will give us a pretty good amount of assists.
Okay, let's see what happens. What's happening with that? One thing is there, Cheddars. I just want to add to this. I know he's done, but the thing is, imagine Lingard, Deli Ali, some of those other shit players that have played for England, and see the players that actually miss out because of these guys. And I think didn't he was even taken to the World Cup, right? He was even in the World Cup team. So imagine he and Eric Dyer was in the World Cup team as well. I mean, the kind
Eric
of that have made it.
Eric Dyer's still there, somehow getting played.
He's okay. He's okay as a defensive midfielder, but like when Mourinho played him as a centre back, I don't know what was going on there. I have no idea.
Southgate is playing him as a centre back as well.
He started playing him as a centre back now.
I'm pretty sure last game he played as a centre back.
I think the infection has gone to the minds now. I think that's where COVID is heading now. So we know now where the problem is. But coming on to Russ Morgan's comment, what a hot take about Pepe. See, the problem with Pepe is it's not because that I don't like him, but the fact is that a single-footed player has to work twice as hard as a dual-footed player. And based on what the comments have been coming in so far from the managers, he's not doing that. And if he doesn't do that soon, he may end up being like Mo Salah. Even though he's had a better first season, he may end up being a Mo Salah at Chelsea. Anyone wanted to add something to that? Yeah.
Just want to say, I mean, Southgate, he gets his football from FPL. Since Eric Dyer is a centre back at FPL, that's where he's going to play.
I have said this before. We need to do a whole show on how stupid can Southgate be, and we need to probably predict what his next stupidity will be. So we can also have an entire 1 hour show on that alone. So let's not get into Southgate right now, because last time we spent a lot of time, and at the end I realized that we wasted time on a piece of trash who's probably going to get sacked soon. He may embarrass himself once again in the Euros. That luckily did not happen this season, and it's going to happen next season. And then at the end of it, we will be like, okay, we need a new manager for England. I think that could be the case. Fortunately, he had a good team that went to the semis, but the way that they threw it away in the semis, I think everyone saw that this guy is not tactically sound or good enough to be the English manager. I mean, it was a game in hand that they should have never thrown away.
Yeah, well, he's still starting Pickford as well. There's another mystery.
How many penalties can take?
Did anyone ask that? He takes more penalties than he may runs kilometers in a game. Definitely. Okay, let's we have almost gone for an hour. Let's quickly wrap up with one last question to each one of you. Now let's go for Simpy's question, the crucial one. If there is one midfielder that you would never advise anyone to have in their team, who would it be? And in terms of like pathetic displays and no points at all. Like you had him in your team. This should be some player that you had in your team and you regret and you literally pulled your hair out because you had him in your team. So okay, I think Sankalp had a lot of names in his bag. So let's start off with Sankalp on this one as well. Sankalp, one player, one midfielder. Yes.
Zaha, never take him.
Sankalp, you may regret it if Arsenal actually listens to his plea to save his career and bring him out of Crystal Palace.
I will go and camp outside our stadium for sure.
Then you may then probably AFTV may recruit you with the problems that they're having now.
I am
Okay.
loyal to.
Big up to Sankalp as well, and let's go on to Simpy. Simpy, one midfielder that you would never want to have, never ever.
I can think of two.
Okay, two.
So the two I'll go with. One is Xhaka.
You had him in your team.
Well, no. I mean, well, not. I'm just looking back at my team. There's no midfielder that I would have taken out. But just two that I wouldn't get in is Xhaka because
Okay.
straight from kickoff you're getting -1.
Yellow
Because-
card.
Yellow card,
That
yeah.
yellow card. Yep.
And goal conceded as well, so another -1. Well, yeah, another 1 point gone there. And then so Xhaka and that, what's his name? Is it Ojapumpu or something from Southampton? What's his name? Dechembu. That's Dechempo. It's another player. It's like Southampton's version of Xhaka, where he gets
Okay.
a red card or a yellow card, so you get minus points. So I wouldn't touch any of the defensive midfielders really.
Yep. And Russ, just before I go to John, and Russ Morgan wanted to comment that England should have never beaten Colombia at the World Cup. And he's saying that Kante, great player, but shit at fantasy football. Actually, Kante, when he was playing under Surrey, he was scoring goals as well.
On
But
number 10.
yeah, he has
Yeah.
been injured last season. So that has been a lot of problems for him. And even under Lampard, he started off well, but he got injured. And Lucas Moura for Cheddars. Lucas Moura, definitely. Me and Lucas Moura have the same hairline, respect. Okay. And before I come to John, I will have one or two quick mentions. Like since you said defensive midfielders, I think Jorginho would be one that comes to mind.
Mm.
I hope John wasn't thinking of him. And Dendonker is another one from Wolves. So
I had
these are
him.
yes, but I think Dendonker does contribute at times with goals. But overall, that -1 that you were talking about does keep coming. Okay, let's quickly go to John's, and then I'll give maybe one more name and then wrap it up. John,
You
Who
know,
is your-
this is a difficult one for me because obviously I don't play as long as you guys, and I don't
Okay.
think I don't think I really got screwed by any midfielder. But I'm gonna kind of cheat because I think he was a forward last season, but he's a midfielder now. And I'm
Okay.
just gonna say he's the only one that screwed me. I'm gonna say Rashford.
Ooh.
Okay. I think just because he screwed you, I think overall he was in form towards
Yeah.
the mid-season, but then he dropped form after that. So I think that could be the reason why maybe because of that you don't like him, and maybe you can see what he does this season for you if you try to get him into the team.
Yeah, he may do a redeemer, but he's the only one I can think of that screwed me. I think most of the midfielders I picked, I had quite a good grasp of which ones to go for. So I don't think really any of them had a terrible performance that I can think of.
This year,
If you-
John,
if-
it will be Salah.
Okay, I'll quickly give you two names that one screwed me in terms of overall play, but I had him only for one game week. His name is Daniel James, so I'm not gonna pick him.
Oh
I had him for one game week because he looked good when he started off initially in the initial weeks. And one player who screwed me because I didn't have in my team was Antonio.
Yeah.
But now he's a forward. Now he's a forward. So he can't screw me from midfield. He can screw me in the next show that we do tomorrow. So yes, so that is that. I think we have given you a lot of names, and you guys have a lot of names to pick from. This list is vast. That is why when Simpy was suggesting that let's do a show on all the midfielders, I was like, there must be like around 100 midfielders in FPL, and if we keep covering them, we'll be doing a 24-hour FPL stream. So I think this narrows it down to the names that you have heard a lot. There are some other players as well, but then those players come in the trial and error segment. And some honorable mentions, I'll quickly make one or two, and then we can wrap it up. I think James Maddison had a poor season last one. You can try him out. He's a decent option. But last season, as I said, he had a very poor season. So now that is your choice. One of the players who will be missing this season from last season will be Ericsson. He's gone, so he's not there. So he will be missed. But in terms of Spurs, if you have to take another midfielder, I think Son is obviously the best choice that everyone has said. But apart from that, I think you can look at Højbjerg, who's gone to Spurs now. I think he'll be playing as a defensive midfielder there. But again, he's coming into that category that you may not want to touch at the start and then see how he does. Apart from them, there are a few Wolves midfielders. Neves is there, and I think who was the other one?
Moutinho?
Neves. Moutinho is there as well. These are some of the options that you can prefer. I think Neto will also come in midfield. If you want cheap midfielders, these are some of the guys that you can take. And
I think
I think
Jota this year is midfielder, right?
sorry,
Jota.
Jota is a
Jota.
midfielder this season, could be, but Jota is too inconsistent to be taken in any team. I think Neto does a better job if he only can convert his chances.
He's a form guy. Jota is a form guy. You pick him up for 5.
Jota 6.5 right now.
Yeah.
It's a good price, to be honest. Yeah.
So you can try your luck again. As I said, trial and error. That is how it works with Jota. So if you want to pick him, you can pick him. Then there are a few Crystal Palace players as well. You can see. I think what was his name? Mijano Lich.
Milivojevic. Yeah.
Milivojevic.
You want to accept that.
Yeah, I think he's also a decent player. Apart from that, Goodson also for Everton does a decent job. You can have him as well if you want. I think he also takes their penalties at times, so he's there as well.
Yeah.
And yes,
The only thing with that, though, it might be out the team now that Rodriguez, Allen, and Decore are coming in.
Yep, that could be the case as well. So you would find that out in game week 1. Walcott is a legend. I just wanted to say that out of the blue. And yes, I think we have covered a lot of names. And from Manchester City, Cheddars is saying Torres. Torres, the thing is that once he starts playing games, I think then we can make the prediction of that. The other thing is Manchester City. I think Gundogan is done. Rodri is not capable of, like, he's one of those other players unless he really gets more assists or goals. But Rodri can be a player to watch. I'm not saying to have, but to watch. Manchester City, any other midfielders? Mahrez is there, but again, he won't be playing. Foden, as you guys said. Sterling is another name. I think that is about it. I think Bernardo Silva is another name, but he's too expensive. So if you guys have free money to spend and waste, I think Bernardo Silva will be your player. I think Pep must have
one name I wanted to mention I was thinking about putting him in my like the utility midfielders, but again, because he's in West Ham, I don't know if, like, with their start of the season and all that, and Moyes was Declan Rice. I don't know what kind of season he might have now this season.
He's again coming into that defensive midfielder category, so again he goes back. I think if I had to take one of them, I would have taken. I think I will take Mark Noble, or I think
they're at about the same for points last season. Noble and Rice, yeah.
Noble takes penalties, so that is why I would take.
I thought that as well until Antonio started taking them.
Yep.
So because I was like, when Antonio was on that scoring goals for fun, and then they got a penalty, I was like, yes, Noble, Antonio's on. And the next thing, Antonio's there celebrating the goal going in.
And the only player that I would rely a bit on was, I think the midfielder was Snodgrass, but he does not start games. He does not have the capability of starting games and playing the 90 minutes. And the only player, if I wanted to take a West Ham defender, would be Cresswell.
So,
anyways, let us not confuse you anymore. That is why, Sankalp, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, how much is Wilshere priced?
Who's priced? Wilson.
Wilshere. Jack Wilshere.
right. He is
5.
He got 8 points. What the heck?
Is that him being wheelchaired out to the stands?
And Cheddars is saying West Ham start is so hard, they will be bottom first 10 games. Yes, exactly. That is why we have not said, unless David Moyes does the David Moyes and produces that miracle after maybe game week 2 or 3. I don't know. Let's see. I'll make my predictions about Moyes later, but the only thing that I predicted right now is that he starts slow. So don't expect too many goals in the first few games, even if he may end up getting a 1-0 win. Anyways, so let's wrap it up because I will be getting calls anytime soon, as you guys already know. So before we get into that, let's go around, and this time let's start off with John. John, where can people find you and what do you have planned for your channel?
Yes, you can find me at Revenite Space FC on YouTube. I will be doing gaming videos and football videos upon returning home. So in about 6 days, I'll probably start putting out videos, and hopefully I won't be too disappointed by Liverpool's first game result. But we'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at TRevenite as well. And yeah, thanks for the show as always, Nitesh.
Big up to John and big up to Simpy and Sankalp as well. Simpy, where can people find you and what are you planning for the upcoming weeks?
Yeah, so cheers for me on Nitesh, John, and Sankalp. Just here, Simpy141, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, etc. And yeah, so tomorrow on this channel we're doing the Forward show. Then on Thursday, 5:15 UK, we're doing the final draft for the teams. Then we'll be doing the weekly FPL shows pretty much a couple of days after every single game week is concluded. And then 20 videos will be in as well end of the month. So yeah, cheers guys.
Big up to Simpy as well. And yes, he'll be back again tomorrow with our last show about forwards, and we will be on his channel on the 10th as well. I mean, I will be at least, and hopefully John and Sankalp join in as well on the 10th for the final draft, and where we'll be sharing our teams with you guys as well. And last but not the least, Sankalp, where can people find you? And what are your other plans for the future? Anything planned up for the game as well?
Everyone can find me on my Twitter page, Understanding Football. Lot of focus now will be on the Premier League and the FPL. So I think that's what my page will be looking to cover. Thank you.
Okay, and big up to all you guys. So quickly, I'll get into my speech now. At the end of every show, I need to do this. Give me a second. Yeah. So what I wanted to get into is a quick. I'll do it. Let me do it in a fast way. Let me do it like a rap kind of thing. So I was just going to say that we guys will be doing another show tomorrow, and that will be about the FPL related to the forwards. And then you guys can see which forwards you need to pick for your FPL team. Another point of time, then you can consider the options that we'll put in forward for you guys, and you can think about what options you can buy and all the cheap prices and the good ones and the utility players and everything will be there covered up in the forwards. And then we'll be doing a show on the 10th for Simpy, and we'll be actually doing the entire draft of all the teams that we will be covering. And you can see all our teams, John's, mine, Sankalp's, and if anyone else wants to send their team, you can send it to Simpy on Twitter as well. And apart from that, Simpy141 on Twitter as well. And apart from that, I need to really be going now. So big up to you guys. See you soon. We'll be probably doing a gaming stream in the night. Bye.